Good afternoon. This is Graham Mann, podcast with Graham Mann. On today's show, we have Mike Denby. Good afternoon, Mike.
Good afternoon.
We were going to go through one channel to get you on here, and we've gone to another channel. So our technical support is holding up. Unfortunately, we've not got any visual, but that's for another day. If I'd just like to briefly introduce Mike Denby. He is the economic development manager for Wakefield Metropolitan District Council. We've met Mike through Tim Guest. We're co-founders and directors of switchwatersupply.com. And Mike Denby and his team have been helping us for a number of months pull the business together and formally launch it, the launch that never was, on March 17th. And it didn't stop us trading, and now we're doing some more work with Hannah there of your team to further enhance the offering across the Wakefield District Council's area and beyond, and start building up the team and start employing people hopefully next year. So I invited you on here, Mike, because you got some serious messages to get out to various businesses, and I saw that you were asking and posting things on LinkedIn. You're fairly prolific, I think I am as well. And it's important that I think that you get the message out there, because for small businesses, it'd be really, really important that there's money available to them on a grant basis. We've already applied, and thank you very much, Mike, for expediting our application. It's all through, done and dusted. And I was completely amazed how quickly you did it, I have to say. I don't know how you did it, but that's for another day. Mike, there's some information on our website with regards to Mike and what he does. But if you'd like to explain a bit about what your role is, what your team is, and then perhaps we can go into the message that you're trying to get out to the area.
Okay, that's brilliant. Thanks, Graham, and thanks for inviting me on this afternoon. In terms of my role and my team's role, is we're responsible for supporting Wakefield businesses, Wakefield rate-paying businesses. That could be from the largest business in Wakefield that we have, some of the bigger brands, your Haribos, your Coca-Colas of the world, the TK Maxx's from the big logistics unit in Nottingham, all the way down to some of our brand new startup businesses in Wakefield. As you can appreciate, the last few weeks have been a busy few weeks for us. Our big and most important push at the moment is to support businesses in any ways we can, just during the difficult climate as a result of COVID-19. There are government initiatives and grants that are available to businesses, and obviously today it's an opportunity for us to raise awareness of what's available to try and get some much needed cash into those Wakefield businesses. But all I would say to those that are listening to this podcast at the moment is we're doing all we can to make sure that those funds get to the right businesses, to those eligible businesses, and we're working around the clock to do that. We're fortunate in the fact that we've been able to pay around 65% of those eligible businesses have received between £10,000 and £25,000, depending on their specific criteria. So we're talking around £40 million that's gone into Wakefield businesses, and we've only had the money since the 1st of April, so 17 days, and we've been able to get that money to businesses pretty much from a standing start. So we're doing well. However, there's a long way to go, and we've still got another 35% of those eligible businesses which we need to get this money to.
Yeah. What sort of money we're talking about here then, Mike? Because there's 15, 20 million?
Yeah, 29 million, I believe, is the remaining amounts of money that we need to get to Wakefield eligible businesses. So it's for those businesses. So if you're a business in receipt of small business rate relief, you would be eligible. So that's basically you pay no business rate due to small business rate relief. You would be an eligible business. It's also for businesses that are based in the retail, hospitality, and leisure sector. All of the criteria in terms of eligibility is on the Wakefield Council website. If you click
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, sorry, go on. Carry on. Sorry.
I was just going to say, if you click on the home page, there's a specific page around COVID-19, and
Yeah.
what we are encouraging businesses to do is have a real good look at that to make sure that you're eligible. Because for every business that isn't eligible, that might be whacking in an application, that might have a knock-on effect in terms of the processing of payments of those that are eligible. So if there's any anomalies or you're unsure, you can always give us a call, because all of my account managers, we pride ourselves on not turning anybody away. We're not sending anybody to a website. If you go on the Wakefield First, all of our telephone numbers are available on there, and we're willing to speak with anybody to help and advise.
Right. What's the do you remember the website address there, Mike?
Okay. So in terms of if you need any contact details for any business support advisors, if you go on wakefieldfirst.com.
Wakefieldfirst.com, yeah.
On there will be our contact details and all information around COVID-19 and what support is available for business.
Yeah.
There is a direct link on there that takes you through to the grant application form. So that's one way of getting through your small business grant application form. So you can do it that way, or you can just type in Wakefield Council, click on the Wakefield Council webpage. So type that in on Google, click on the Wakefield Council webpage, and again, there's a link on there for COVID-19 and support for business. And again, there's an opportunity to apply for your small business grant that way.
That's fantastic. Why do you think there's so many haven't applied for it? Do you think it's just I don't know. Perhaps they don't go on LinkedIn as much as we do. I don't know.
Well, this is it. I don't think my network's as big as I'd like to think it is, Graham.
Yeah.
No, I think we've done as much as we can, or we feel that we can. Obviously, there are a lot of business premises that are shut.
Yeah.
So one of the methods of marketing to get the message out there is to be sending a letter to their business premise to tell them that they are eligible.
Yeah.
And obviously, we do appreciate that people are not there. So that's from those details that we've got. We have sent it there. We've also got email addresses for some, but not all of businesses. So we're doing e-shots as well. And then to supplement that, we've done e-shots to our wider database, to some suppliers that we've got that we know that would be eligible, that might supply to Wakefield Council. We've done a lot around social media. It's been in the newspapers. We've got things such as this. I'm on the radio as well at weekends, promoting on local radio and in the newspaper. So if I'm honest, it's a bit of a cafeteria menu of all the different things that we are doing to get the message out there. But we unfortunately, in the 17 days, we've only been able to get to 65% of businesses to encourage them to apply. So we're doing all we can to get that down to zero, and then we can pay everyone.
What's the application cut-off date, Mike?
There's no cut-off date as it currently stands. It's just that, again, we appreciate that those businesses need this much deserved cash in their bank. The form itself is really straightforward. If you've got your most recent business rates bill to hand, that's the most important thing, because there's a few numbers on there that you'll be required to input. But it's a really straightforward process. It even gives you the opportunity to pop in your bank transfer details.
Right.
And then from that, we can make payment really speedy. We've obviously got to do checks and balances internally to make sure to avoid any potential fraud, and make sure that the money's going to the right individuals and the right bank accounts, etc. So we are doing as we can to make sure that that's going to the right individuals, which is what we're doing. But the turnaround is about between 5 to 7 days from application to receiving of the funds. On some instances, we've done it much quicker than that, but if we work to 5 to 7 days, then we can manage expectations.
Do you think perhaps if the grant or the scheme had been given to you earlier, you would have had a fighting chance of getting the message out earlier, and therefore may have got a higher take up?
I mean, to be honest, we've had the message out there prior to the first. It's just that we got the funds on the first, so we've done as much as we can. I think what the challenge was is obviously because you're going from a standing start, you want to manage expectations in the right way as well. So we've been fairly smart on the way with how we've gone out there. Through contacting our business as a result of COVID-19. What we've been taking all the contact details from businesses that are ringing us for help, guidance, and support. So as and when we've got the online digital form that's gone live, we've been able to gather data along the way and get them out to the right individuals. So if I'm honest, Graham, I think we've pretty much done as much as we can. I think it's just the fact that because business premises are shut, that's one surefire way of absolutely getting to everyone. It's just we're obviously reliant on people going on Facebook, going on LinkedIn as well, and not everybody does. So there will be the small minority that we're not getting to. But to be fair, we're punching our weight, looking at other local authorities, and speaking with my counterparts in other local authorities. It's not like we're far behind. We just want to get this money to the rightful owners.
Yeah. Well, I think we're doing all the right things. What I like about what you guys are doing is you're not just working for small businesses. You're working for all businesses throughout your region and beyond. And that's what particularly attracted me to your team. To be honest, your enthusiasm and of everyone. I spoke to Hannah the other day. I know you passed me through to her, and I was talking about how she can help us get the message out there with regards to reducing your water costs and things like that. And, she was really up for it. She had all that enthusiasm and yes, we can do this, we can do that, we can do other. And for that, once we get that and we get the response back from businesses, we can start then expanding the business and employ more local people, which is what we set out to do in the first place. You know what I mean? Well, when we've gone out and we got someone to do the branding and the logo. It was a local business. When we've asked people to help us with anything really, like an accountancy, it was a local business. So we want it to be, pretty. It's got potential for a pretty sizable digital technology company, and so that will be interesting to see how that goes further down the line. We get this out of the way. So how's it been in general for you guys? I mean, are you working from home or?
Yes, I am now. More recently, for the last couple of weeks, I've been working from home. Prior to that, we was still going in. I think for us, we wanted to make sure we've got a strong foundation to work from. We could have worked from home much sooner, but we were aware that we needed to put things in place to allow us to respond positively and quickly to businesses. And to be honest, the only real way of doing that was to be in the office together, sharing ideas, plan of actions, what we're going to do. Even daft things like if you've been on LinkedIn, we've all got a own picture where we're holding up a piece of paper because we knew that we'd need so many messages during this time that we've got a consistent approach. All these little things now, it was worth it at that time, even though it was a challenge, and we still had to keep a social distancing and stuff while we're at work, but it's allowed us to be in a strong position so that now we can respond positively, quickly, and professionally to the businesses that's on our patch. Because at the end of the day, you guys pay our wages. We're your employees essentially. We're here to serve the businesses of Wakefield, and that's why we want to make sure it's right for you.
Yeah. Well, you're certainly doing that, Mike, without a doubt. I wish I'd just known you sooner. But of course, I've been in business now for about 30 odd years, a bit of an entrepreneur, I suppose you'd call me. I don't want to be labelled like that, but that's what they call it. What they call some of us nowadays. But Penny just had a light bulb moment there. I think once it all settles down and maybe things start to relax a bit more, hopefully. When we start our campaign with Hannah, I'd like to sort of extend the podcast to a more regular times, maybe once a week, where we as a part of our audio and visual podcast, once we get back into the studio, we can have you guys back in, and then all the contacts that you have and that we've built up through you, where we've given services to reduce companies' costs, water costs and stuff like that we can say once a fortnight and invite you on, talk about what you're doing and make that connection through us and then through to the people that you serve in Wakefield. And perhaps we can sort of square the circle and have a regular podcast 5 or 10, 15 minutes with you guys on in the studio and get your message out that way. How do you feel about that?
We're happy to do that. I mean, a lot of people say I've got a face for radio, Graham, but if you look on YouTube and Google Mike Denby, I've done national TV a few times. I don't like to talk about it, but 8 million viewers me and Dale Winston brought in one Saturday night. But no, joking aside, we're more than happy to take you up on that offer and obviously share what we're doing on Wakefield, Wakefield First, because I'm sure it'll be of interest to the people that are tuning in.
Absolutely. So when did you do this TV? And I'm a bit of a
I'm the game show king. I'm the game show king. Graham, I retired in 2007 after I paid my house off from a game show winnings. But yeah, I think I went on in 1 year. I went on 6 game shows and won 5, and then called it a day. But they're all on YouTube if you want a laugh at a young lad with a bit of a blonde-haired mullet.
No, I actually you kept that quiet. You're very, very modest, I have to say. Because I was thinking, well, I've got some mundane paperwork this afternoon to do, but I think I'm going to have to go onto YouTube. You heard it on here first, folks. Mike Denby, YouTube. Catch him. And get some tips on winning game shows. So you wouldn't be bothered going on the Millionaire Show now, then? It's a small beer for you, is it?
I mean, I tell you what, I think my TV appearances was about 4 stones ago.
Yeah.
So and if they say the camera puts on £10, I think my days are numbered.
All right. Well, we're coming to sort of close now, but I just want to recap then. So, the Wakefield businesses out there, they need to go to www.wakefieldfirst.com.
Yep.
They'll find support for their business on there, large, medium, or small. Mm-hmm. And there's a direct link to the grant facility, which Mike and his team are waiting there with their pens to write out the checks. Yeah. All the numbers and the contact details on there.
Absolutely. And the important thing for me is, for me now, it's beyond the grants. The grants are great, and it's a great thing that the government have done. Yeah. But that's only going to get businesses so far. £10,000 to some businesses means the world, but £10,000 to other businesses it's just a small amount, and it's a drop in the ocean. What we've now got to start doing is thinking about what happens beyond this. As soon as the distancing is lifted, and we need to be thinking about recovery for those businesses and how resilient those businesses are. So for us, we're already speaking with businesses to go through that resilience and the recovery phase, to talk about what the opportunities are for those businesses to access new markets, to look at gaining additional skills within their workforce, to grow their business moving forward. Those are the conversations that we want. Of course, the grants are really important, and we're going to get those to businesses. But before long, those grants will be paid out, and we want to start having the conversations now, because we need resilient businesses, and we need to start speaking to those businesses now. So again, should anybody want any advice, support, that might just need a hand-holding a little bit, or a virtual hand-hold, should I say, give us a call, and we can speak with an account manager, and we can have those conversations with you and tell you what support is available. Because the thing is, you don't know what you don't know. Our guys are familiar with what's available. So give us a call, we'll have a chat, and then we can see how we can support you beyond just the financial grants.
Yeah, you did right there. It's the future, isn't it? I mean, I think when I speak to a lot of people, whether it's new clients, existing clients, or just colleagues in the industry, the main sort of areas, because you've got the emotion, but I think the overall feeling is the unknown, isn't it? It's like in business, you can't have everything your own way. Nothing's predictable in life, and who would have said anything like this would have happened? Certainly ever. But it's come through like a gate crash, and even now we've got cracks in certain areas. And I know I spoke to one client who's got a large number of pool and leisure sites, a very big company, and in an effort to reduce their ongoing energy costs, they turned down the temperature of the water in the pools and in the sites themselves. And they thought, oh, we're going to save, X tens of thousands of pounds a week or whatever on energy, only to find that in a number of sites, the tiles are now falling off the swimming pools. Now to have tiles falling off swimming pools in the water, that's a huge job of putting all these back on, and the repair costs are enormous. So any benefit they had on doing that to reduce their energy costs has now been far outweighed in repair costs, probably right across the whole of the UK and on all their clubs. And it's like, they do what they do, and it's just hit them in the face, and it's kind of a complete unknown and uncharted waters, isn't it? Really?
Yes, of course.
I think. What's your general impression of Wakefield? I mean, we've got quite some big players in. We've got a lot of manufacturing, a lot of food manufacturing that's cracking away. I suppose the suppliers will be supplying them. It's just the high street shops that are taking a huge hit, isn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, obviously you've got your high street shops, the retail, hospitality, and leisure sector. However, we've got a lot of businesses that supply to those. So we might have a manufacturing business. I can give you a live example: a manufacturing business in Wakefield, and they provide sort of shop fronts and signage for clients, but all of their clients are in retail, hospitality, or leisure.
Oh, yeah.
And you'd be surprised when you actually delve into it. We've got so many businesses that are as part of that supply chain, even though they're a manufacturing business. They're part of the supply chain. So those businesses are affected, and we're doing what we can to support those businesses. The one thing I have noticed, and I'm really proud of, is the Wakefield businesses how supportive they've been. We've had some businesses such as, and I've got to do some name checks, to Minster Law, the chief exec of Minster Law. They've offered some of their time in terms of their call centre capacity to help small businesses to, that could be taking inbound calls or helping them out by use of their call centre facility. Burberry is obviously part of a big organisation, but Burberry have now been making PPE that can be used on the front line in hospitals. I had an email from Burberry about 20 minutes ago before this call, just saying that they've got a batch of face masks that can be then used for the services that we're dealing with at the local authority. And it just goes to show some of those businesses, large and small, the bigger ones, maybe it's easier, but some of the smaller ones, how they are now uniting and delivering webinars to help businesses work from home. Dean at iTech been delivering webinars is obviously yourself and giving as a help in terms of getting the message out. We're pulling together, and I do believe moving forward to show that, I mean, they call it pivoting when some businesses are, looking at new products and services and adopting to change. And I think it's a good opportunity to see those businesses and to look at the art of the possible. And I think moving forward, those businesses that have learned from this, that are thinking, I can think a little bit differently. I think they will benefit in a positive way moving forward. To remember that time when we were able to do this, why don't we do it to serve this customer's need? And I think we will see some innovative ways of working moving forward. And it also goes to show working from home works.
Yeah, it's quite strange you should say that, because with the first week, 10 days, I had a fairly bleak and negative outlook on everything. It just hit me in the face, and we had to make this move. And Concedia pulled the all the stops out and got our computers all sorted out, enabled us to work from home. Their engineers here to connection up and stuff like that, and everything worked. Yeah, we had one or two minor hitches, but again, Concedia, we've worked with them for 15, 16 years doing our IT and software. And they're our partners in the switchwater supplier project. But even they've had challenges where they've had calls sort of every sort of hour regarding their services, and people want laptops and emergency repairs and all the rest of it. And but it just goes to show you, like within 3 weeks, we all settled down and we are actually still doing business. And in that time, I've had time to sort of not having the usual office distractions. I've come up with some really innovative ideas that we can apply to the Switchwater supplier project, which is going to further enhance that offering and create even more employment within the business. And it's something where it was staring me in the face, but only until I sat down one day when I was having a coffee in the morning. I was reading this article on what we can do and what we can't do and what the possibilities are in the water market and off what's the regulators' different pieces of information and legislation. And I spotted a paragraph in there. It's opened up a whole new ball game for us. And it's all to do with data, customer data. So we're going to be applying for what's known as a water self-supply license, which will be able to access the water market data of 1.2 million customers right across the whole of the UK. And we'll be able to use that data and identify those customers that are using too much water and then contact them and even predict their savings and how much water we can save them and how much money we can save them on their water bills. And so we're going to need quite a substantial sales operation for that. So we'll be looking around for call centre people and stuff like that. And that was just, I didn't even see this. This has been in the legislation for 3 years. It was only till I started working from home, and I've been a little bit more relaxed. Which I think, to be honest, you tend to be more relaxed in a home environment. We haven't got the distractions of phones ringing and people discussing this, that, and the other. You tend to have. Well, I've just had a light bulb moment.
It's strategic thinking. It gives you that additional capacity to see the bigger picture. And again, you don't necessarily associate it with working from home. But you're absolutely right, and I think there'll be a lot of people that's listening to this now that agree and have been in that same position.
Well, I actually did think. I thought at one time, perhaps when we get back to some normality, and as the business grows, we can think about maybe 1 or 2 days a week where guys can work from home, and thereby giving themselves a little bit more flexibility in the way that we work. To not just have everyone 9 to 5 in an office. Yeah. Maybe have it 3 days a week or 4 days a week in the office, and maybe on a Thursday or a Friday work in a home environment, which leads them to get on with perhaps some other things that they couldn't possibly do. Because we spend. For some people, I think one girl, she takes her 45 minutes to get from Barnsley to Wakefield, nearly 2 hours a day travelling to work. Now, if for example on a Friday she works from home, that's an extra. She saves that 2 hours, and the things she couldn't necessarily do during the day, she can do during the day from a personal basis. It gives them a bit more flexibility. So I'm kind of thinking maybe different working practices may well work better for all the staff in the future. So it'd be something else that we're going to be exploring when we get back to some normality, whatever that is.
That's good. No, that's really good. And I think if anybody is listening who that's worked for me in the past, I've never been an adopter really of a work from home policy, even though it is adopted by the local authority. There's obviously that element of discretion based on individual team circumstance. I'm now looking at it completely differently because I am seeing that there's still the activity, there's still the output, but it is allowing more flexibility for individuals, and it's something that we're going to be looking to adopt definitely a lot more than we have done in the past. Yeah.
Well, I've done more. I've done more emailing first thing in the morning and more emailing after 7 o'clock at night, and setting appointments at 8 o'clock. In fact, I had a chief executive of one of the large water retail companies ring me at 9:05 on Sunday night last week. I couldn't believe it. But it's kind of, I don't see this as a job. It's just basically what I do, really. I'm sort of fortunate like that. I've done this for 25, 30 years, and I just enjoy it immensely. But listen, it's been wonderful to talk to you. I think the enthusiasm of you and your team is absolutely fantastic. And I would definitely like to explore more regular podcasts with you guys once we get our studio back. So I know Josh is listening to that, but we'd like to get you down there and pull everything together and maybe create something rather special, because you've got a lot of experience and a really enthusiastic team down there. And I'm sure there's a lot more we could be doing together. So,
Absolutely.
thank you very much. I'll just say it again. No, guys, if you're a business within Wakefield and you want to apply for this grant, you haven't done already, go to wakefieldfirst.com and all the information there. And the team and Mike's team are waiting to take your call.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Cheers, Mike. Much obliged.
Take care.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.